to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is.
I am Reverend Steve. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, which is an actual thing worth a Google. This is episode 413 of the podcast. Yes, the Little Lebowski Urban Achievers, and glad we are of all of that. Today, we are going to be talking about Jason Bateman, Aretha Franklin. We continue our Shapology with a look at Fred Silverman and his fight with Saturday Night Live. And we get ever closer to the end of our very painful summer with a look at Super Geniuses 2, which, wow, greatest movie I've ever seen. Can't wait to just slather it with praise.
Yes.
One good thing I can say about this week's movie, it does feature a scene where Scott Baio gets punched in the face.
That is always nice.
Yeah, that is a positive. So, hooray.
Nothing makes me happier than seeing Scott Baio get punched in the face.
Yes, absolutely. So this should be an exciting episode. Let's just get to it. Bunny!
Yes!
A 40-year-old Trump supporting Matthew Coleman was arrested in Tijuana recently, where he went with his 2-year-old son and 10-month-old daughter to murder them with a spear because he was convinced that his wife was a lizard person who passed alien lizard DNA onto his children. Now, that was a very heavy sentence. Would you... Is that... Did I lose you?
You're breaking up a bit.
Even when I use a hotspot, it sucks. Even when I use the Wi-Fi, it sucks. When I use the hotspot, it sucks. Just the internet completely sucks. We're not really streaming right now. No one can see or hear me. It's the same as last week, and it sucks. It just sucks. And I don't know what to do. It's my computer. It just doesn't want to stream. No one can hear me at all, and I think I've lost Bunny. And I'm on a hotspot.
No, I can still hear you. I can still hear you, just coming in kind of on the bad side. You look like a spaceman.
Oh, well, that's awesome. At least I've got that going. Did you hear my intro to this bit?
I heard the setup. I didn't hear the punchline.
Okay, I'm going to go through that again. Okay. A 40-year-old Trump-supporting QAnon believer named Matthew Coleman was arrested in Tijuana recently, where he went with his 2-year-old son and 10-month-old daughter to murder them with a spear because he believed that he was a lizard person who passed alien lizard DNA onto his children. That is a very heavy sentence, Bunny. I'd end of that for you.
Very heavy sentence? What's it do for me?
No, would you like... My internet fucking... I don't know. The internet just sucks, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I might be down with that. I don't know, because this internet, as it is right now, just sucks. Would you like me to repeat any of that? Yeah, I need to get up on the roof and just move the antenna around, because that's the technology I'm using out here. That sentence was a heavy one, Bunny. Would you like me to repeat that for you?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so a Trump-supporting QAnon believer named Matthew Coleman got his 2 very young kids, took them to Tijuana, and stabbed them to death with a spear because he was convinced that his wife was a secret alien lizard person who had given his children alien lizard DNA and that his children would grow up to be monsters, so he killed them to save the planet.
Yes.
So, first off, wow, thank you for saving us, Matthew. I would have hated for your children to grow up to become hideous monsters and kill us all. So really, the guy's a hero.
Yeah.
Matthew Taylor Coleman, because murderers have 3 names.
They always
Matthew
do.
Taylor Coleman owned... They always do. They always do. Matthew Taylor Coleman owned a surfing school in Santa Barbara and told police that by killing his kids, he was saving the world from monsters. He killed his own children, and then here's what I think is the punchline. He then tried to illegally cross the border, and I'm so sick and tired of white people coming over here illegally and taking all of our jobs.
Yes.
We need to build a wall to keep the white people out. That's what I think. Anywho, I'm glad this story made the news because a lot of parents nowadays are very worried. They've been coming up to me and they've been saying, Steve, you gotta help me. Are my children lizard people? Have my kids been infected by my partner with alien DNA? And what country is best for stabbing my alien monster children with spears? Well, fear not, America, because the Pope on Film podcast is here. I have come up with some questions that you, the listener, you, the viewer, can ask your children to ascertain whether your kids are secretly alien lizard people.
Yes.
So I've just some really easy, simple questions, and you ask these questions, and that is how you figure out whether your kids are alien lizard people. And we will try now. Hey, Maxwell, can you come here for a sec? Okay, just come here.
What?
Just come here. Come here. Hi, Maxwell.
Hi.
You doing good?
Yeah.
Good. How old are you again? 14?
No, I'm 9.
You're 9.
1 month. After this month, I'm going to be 10.
Ah, the big 1-0. That's a
Double
big one.
digits.
Double digits. Very proud of you.
Yes.
You're so old. You're getting so old, Maxwell. Okay, so I've got some questions. So what are you doing right now? About to eat lunch?
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I want to do?
What?
Lay on a hot, flat rock, totally naked, and just bask in the heat. Does that sound good to you, Maxwell?
No, I would turn into a chicken nugget.
Oh,
A
okay.
human-sized chicken nugget.
So you're about to eat.
Yes.
So I have a question for you. What would you like to eat? Chicken nuggets or, hear me out, crickets?
Nope.
I
no
think
crickets.
both of them sound good. Which one would you like? Chicken nuggets or crickets? Oh man,
nuggets.
are you sure?
hate-
The
No.
crickets sound yummy.
No.
How about flies?
No.
No?
Ew.
I
No
believe
small
there is
defensive
video
bug?
evidence of Maxwell eating crickets before.
And it is a good point. I do have video of you eating a cricket.
Yeah, but we're
I
eating
hated it.
too.
I was eating it too. Okay, you got me there. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm just scratching. My scales really itch right now. Do you ever have that problem, Maxwell? Do your scales ever itch?
No, you don't have scales. I don't have scales. No one in this house has scales.
Okay. Hey, Maxwell, I love you. I love you very much. I want you to know that, son. I love you. You know what else I love?
What?
Secretly belonging to the class Reptilia. I mean, Soros and Hillary. High five! No high five? No high five for our leader, George Soros? And Hugo Chavez, which is trying to institute a global rule,
Who are those people?
the New World Order.
Who are those people?
Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, nothing.
No.
Hillary Clinton, high five.
No.
Eating babies. No?
No!
Okay, good. You passed the test. Come here. You passed the test. You passed the test. You're not an alien lizard person. Give me a hug. Bring it in. There you go. Okay, you're not a lizard person. You can go eat lunch now. And see, it's that easy, parents. Just some very simple questions. You ask that to your kids, and that way you ascertain whether they have been infected with the evil alien DNA. If they have, just get yourself some spears, apparently.
I think we get the spear gun anyway, just to be on the safe side.
Just to be on the safe side, yes.
He seemed a little evasive on some of those questions.
He seemed very upset with some of the questions. Almost too upset. Like, maybe he was upset that I was questioning his loyalty to the evil alien overlords. But you know what? I'm glad
I am not a lizard!
Okay. Of course, that's what a lizard would say, but...
Yeah.
I am not a lizard!
It's okay. Even if you were, I would love my alien son. When I said that, I was going for a Heathers reference, and I don't know if anybody got that, but... I love my alien son. You know? Bella gets it, so that's good. Okay, so that's all you got to do to ascertain whether your kids are alien lizard people. So you're welcome. and cut on that. Bunny!
Yes!
This is our 11th week of our summer-long deep dive into IMDb's list of the 100 worst movies of all time. And wow, this is the next to last episode of our season-long summer of bottoming. And wow, this has been difficult. I thought this would be a lot more fun. You know? Watching a bunch of bad movies, but instead it's just been an uphill climb into the center of beautiful scenic shit. It has not been fun.
It has
not been fun. If I ever see Madonna in person, I just kick spa in the nuts.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the top
but to be honest,
at the top
when
of
it
the
comes
show,
to Madonna, I was likely to do that anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Who? At the top of the show, discuss one of the large number of movies in IMDb's bottom 100 that we won't be doing because there's not 100 weeks in a summer, but there are 104 days of summer vacation and school comes along just to end it. Anyway, this week we are going to be discussing the 1985 sequel, Teen Wolf 2, starring Jason Bateman.
Okay.
So, yeah. Michael J. Fox wanted to be in Back to the Future, but there was a scheduling conflict. And so as Steven Spielberg started filming Back to the Future with their star, Eric Stoltz, Michael J. Fox was also on the Universal lot about to finish filming Teen Wolf, and Michael J. Fox was once quoted as saying, "Look at that. Spielberg is here making art, and I'm here making a fucking werewolf movie." So, Michael J. Fox, not a fan of the Teen Wolf movies, but to be fair, where he was doing werewolf shit, it took like 4 to 6 hours to put on all of the werewolf outfit. You know, because back in the day, it took so long with, like, the spirit gum and all of that shit and to put all the fucking... Now you just all do that with CGI, but back in the day, you'd just be piling on all the crap in your face. And he just absolutely... Fox finishes his werewolf movie as Back starts filming, continues filming. And we all know what happened next with Back to the Future... But the gist is, the creators of the low-budget teen werewolf movie said, okay, we finished this movie, and Jesus, this movie is lame, this movie is dumb. Plus, Michael J. Fox isn't a big enough star to get people to come to the theater to watch this turd burger we made. So you know what? We're just going to shelve Teen Wolf. I don't know if we're ever going to release this movie because no one is going to ever want to come and see Michael J. Fox in a werewolf movie. So they shelve Teen Wolf, and then they fire Eric Stoltz as the star of Back to the Future, and they hire Michael J. Fox. Back to the Future comes out. It's a big hit, and the Teen Wolf people go, wait, Michael J. Fox is a huge star now? Quick, let's release our shitty Michael J. Fox movie. So Back to the Future came out in July of 1985, and Teen Wolf was quickly rushed out the next month, August of 1985. Teen Wolf cost $1.2 million to make, and ended up making $80 million solely by piggybacking on the success of Back to the Future. If Back to the Future hadn't come out, who knows if we ever would have seen the movie Teen Wolf, and who knows if it ever did see the light of day, if it even was a success. But Teen Wolf made such money that the filmmakers said, quick, let's rush another shitty Teen Wolf movie. But Michael J. Fox said, hell no, not on your freaking life. So the filmmakers needed another young, cheap TV sitcom star. So they went with Jason Bateman. And to be clear, this is, it does make sense. But to be clear, this is a rushed sequel to an already not that good film. The only people to return from the first film were the dad and the fat guy who also played Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The only two people that returned from the first. It's like Delta House all over again. Who returned? Who returned? The adult in charge and the fat one. It's just like Delta House. So Teen Wolf 2 is basically the exact same movie, except in this film, Michael J. Fox's cousin Todd goes to college, and it's the exact same thing, except in this film, instead of basketball, apparently he's going to college on a boxing scholarship? Is that even a fucking thing?
I don't know, but I think that they missed a golden opportunity not making it badminton.
Ooh, yeah, it could have been badminton or collegiate bowling. I know that's a thing.
Yes.
I've never heard of collegiate boxing before. You know, I've never seen a college boxing team. This is all very confusing to me. Anyway, the movie is shit. Fun fact, they were all set to do a third Teen Wolf movie, which would have starred Alyssa Milano as a girl trying out for a football team. But Teen Wolf 2 cost $3 million to make, and it only made $7 million in the box office, so Teen Wolf 3 was canceled. Teen Wolf 2 is number 90 on the IMDb Bottom 100, right in front of Turkey's own Recep Ivedik 5.
Really?
And with all of the talk we've done about Recep Ivedik this summer on the podcast, I really hope that one day I'm able to find a dub or a sub of a Recep Ivedik movie and be able to watch it on the podcast, because Lord knows who are clamoring to hear a podcast talk about Recep Ivedik. That is what we have learned. A lot of people tuning in to this podcast to hear Recep Ivedik discussions.
This is correct.
I feel like I'm lagging like 5 or 10 seconds ahead of you, Bonnie. Like, I'll say something and then like this.
Yes.
See, that was crazy. But anyway, next week is our last week of the summer of bottoming, and thank fucking God. I can't imagine how bad next week's movie is going to be if this week was only number 2. So, I'm just praying that we get through this summer in one month.
And it was a rough one.
It was a rough one. Jesus Christ. But I figured out something shocking about
really.
There is one person who has appeared in multiple movies on this list, and I 100% figured out why. And it is a shocking twist. I figured out an exclusive about someone in this week's movie. It's going to blow your mind.
Good, because frankly...
It's going to blow your mind. It's going to tie the whole summer together.
I was kind of wondering about it. And I was trying to figure out the connection with this particular person.
I figured something out, and I'm really proud that I'm blowing the lid off this. But that's later. That's in Act 3. We're still in Act 1. So next week, we are going to be in Act 1. We're going to be taking a look at all 12 movies we've done this week. And we're going to give them little reviews. You know, like I'll mention a movie we did. We're going to be talking about the changes in numbers because the IMDb Bottom 100 is an ever-changing thing. And one of the movies that we saw this summer isn't on the list anymore.
Really?
Yeah. And that's gonna be some shocking news. So yeah, because the list is ever changing. There's a YouTube channel, I think it's called I Hate Everything, and they did 3 years ago. They did the search for the worst, and they tried the movie on the IMDb 100. And yeah, I noticed there's a bunch of movies that guy did on YouTube that just aren't on the list anymore. So it's an ever-changing thing. So some new Bruce Willis movie went into the IMDb Bottom 100, so we got to take something out. And so we're going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing the movies that we've done, a look back at our very painful summer. So join us next week for the shocking conclusion to our summer of bottoming. Can't wait. And cut on that segment. Big lag. Huge lag. It's impressive.
What's this?
I'm trying to move on to the next segment. Bunny!
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I am an AMC member, and what that means is I am signed up to a subscription service. $5 a month, I get 3 free movies a week. And I'm still in the AMC List program because I'm grandfathered in. I signed up in 2018, and I got $19.95 a month. And there's a lot of other people in bigger cities paying $24.95 a month, but I'm in a small city, in a small state, so I'm grandfathered in, so I'm still paying $19.95 a month, and it's really great. And from December 28, 2020, I saw a whopping 177 movies in a 66-week period. Then the pandemic hit and movie theaters closed down, but now they're back open, and I'm watching 2 movies a week because baby steps. So it's time to talk new movies with Steve Stubbs of the Week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Thank you. So this episode represents my 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th week back. This is the number 8 in sign language. And in that time, I have seen 16 movies in theaters, baby steps. So this week, I saw the following 2 movies in theaters. Free Guy, starring Deadpool, and the Aretha Franklin biopic, Respect. Now, every week, I pick a Steve Stubbs movie pick of the week that I want to talk a lot about. But first, let's discuss the movie that was not chosen as the movie pick of the week, Respect, the Aretha Franklin biopic. It stars Jennifer Hudson, and everyone's like, oh, a tremendous performance, amazing. Our first real Oscar contender. oh, she's going to win the Oscar for sure. What an amazing performance. And I guess we're all just collectively forgetting the fact that she was just in the goddamn Cats movie where she sang Memories with an eternally running nose. She played a homeless cat in one of the worst films of all time. And apparently, we're just all forgetting that. We're just all forgetting the fact that she was a cat in one of the worst movies of all time. But
it's a shame.
Whatever. It is a shame. I really like the logo for Steve Stubbs of the. Just noticing that.
Thank you.
That is. Hey, look at that! Wow, that looks nice. It's raining tickets. Oh no! I'm being attacked.
It needed its own visual kind of thing.
I like it. It's very so pretty. Okay, so respect. The Franklin movie. Your connection is unstable? No, you're unstable. Okay, so the Aretha Franklin biopic. I knew nothing about Aretha Franklin movie. I knew her music, and that was it. I didn't know anything about her personal life. So let me tell you something. She went through so much pain and suffering and spousal abuse, beatings, and rape. She had such that when you finally find where she writes the song and it becomes a hit, it's like the end of a rock movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, fucking yes. Okay, you deserve this, Aretha. Good for you. It was a good movie. I liked it. Especially since I knew nothing about her. It was all just new to me. But it was really good, and she was really believable as Aretha Franklin, and of course she had this. And, but let me tell you something weird that happened in the movie. Really bizarre, but so I'm watching the movie. The climax of the film, really emotional, really beautiful. The movie started. I didn't know this was a thing, but it started like the whole time I've been watching a DVD.
Okay.
It was so weird. I grabbed my phone out and started filming it because the goddamn movie was skipping during the climax.
Yeah?
And it really got me thinking. Yeah, it started skipping. It started like she was singing and it would freeze up and then continue, just like a scratchy DVD. And she's singing, ah, ah, the weirdest thing. So I started filming it and I posted on Twitter, and it's like, my movie is skipping. How is this even possible? And I really started thinking, like, I don't know how this work. Back in the day, there were reels, but they don't do the reels anymore. Are they just downloading this onto a computer and then they're just playing it through a projector?
As far as I understand,
or for all I know, maybe they just had bad internet when they were downloading or some shit. I don't fucking know. It pissed me off. And if you want to see, if you don't believe me, I got frickin' proof. Just go to twitter.com/Reverend Steve, because it's all right there. The movie skipped, and it really brought me out of the movie when your movie starts to skip in a freaking movie theater.
Yeah.
Very upsetting to me, but it was a really good movie until that happened. But yeah, I'm scared to go see the movie a second time, because it's like, what if it starts skipping again? That'll really piss me off. But yeah, so that's movie. Yeah, the skipping was really difficult. Titus, the gay black guy from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He like co-stars in the movie. That was really shocking. I was
Really?
glad to see him again. Yeah, yeah, a surprising dramatic role for Titus Andromedon from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Good for him. He was really good in the movie too. I thought that seeing this funny guy would bring me out of the movie, but he did a really good job. And finally, the Steve Stubbs movie pick of the week is Free Guy, the new movie starring Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Deadpool. The premise is fucking stupid. But as long as you are able to get past the pretty stupid premise, this movie's a bunch of dumb fun. And I had a blast. I was surprised that the premise of the movie, they did a pretty good job hiding in. But the basic premise is there are these two indie games, video game, and it's kind of like The Sims, except you don't play it. The AI characters get to go off and make their own, live their own lives.
Okay.
To go off and live their own, sort of watch that unfold. Video game is bought by a big game developer, but they shelve it and they never use it. But then they release this new game called Free City, and it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto meets Fortnite. And it's just a city full of these people living their lives, and then you go and you're robbing banks and killing people, explosions and tanks and all of that. But a non-playable character, an NPC who works at the bank, decides to just fight, not let the guy rob the bank, and fight against the guy. And as it turns out, the big-time video game developer who bought this game and shelved it just used it as a basis for his new video game, which means that the possibility that all come to life and live their own lives. It's a ridiculous premise, but once you get past that, it's a really fun movie, and there's a bunch of cameos in it and video game references, and a lot of famous YouTubers are in it. So that I recognize two of them. So it was just a lot of, and there's a lot of nerdy references. I know that's from Fortnite, and yeah, it was a lot of fun because you're in this video. You see these avatars running around, blowing things up and stealing cars and running from the police, but be playing those characters into the voices of some of the characters that you see rob a bank or stealing a car and everything, because they're played by famous people. So watch the film, stay for the end credits and look at the credits, because you'll be like, oh shit, that's a famous person who played the character who robbed that bank. Oh, there's a famous person who played that character who blew up the building and whatever. So there's a bunch of famous people who have secret cameos in this film. The Rock voices a character in this.
Really?
So that's a shocking thing. Yeah, that's a shocking thing to hide from people, because any movie that features The Rock just plasters The Rock's name everywhere. But yeah, this was a good movie, and it was fun, and it was stupid, and I had a blast. I really recommend it. Free Guy. It's a fun, dumb movie, and there's some good laughs in it. Ryan Reynolds is really good as a video game character who sort of gains consciousness, and I really liked it. So that's this week in new movies. Next week, I will be going to see the horror movie the Lake House or something like that. I'm going to see a horror movie, and then I'm not sure what else. But join us next week for more up-to-date movie reviews with Steve Stubbs of the Week. And cut on that. Bunny!
Yes.
Bunny. Okay. We still have a whole podcast to get to. We need to talk about Al Franken. We need to talk about Look Who's Talking. We need to talk about actress Skylar Shea. But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
Okay, I concur. We'll be right back with more of the Pokemon film after this. Do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do papa do wow and break.
Before the throne of the Almighty, Bob will not be judged by his acts, but by his intentions. Only God can judge Bob's heart.
Are you a woman in the Utah area looking for ugly clothing? Then stop on down to the Black Dress Warehouse. We are Utah's leading supplier of black or dark gray dresses. Do you want to look like a housewife? Do you want to look like a woman who is suffering depression or is possibly mourning the loss of a loved one? Or perhaps you're a woman being haunted by the grim specter of death. If you are, then come on down to Black Dress Warehouse. We sell black dresses, and that's it. Off of Route 9 and Main Street, Black Dress Warehouse.
And now, baby infestation.
Montage. Montage. Disco montage. It's a montage. We're cleaning up the streets. We're getting people with wife beaters, asking them questions in an alleyway. I'm wearing a peach-colored suit, and everything's cool. It's a montage. A disco montage. Is that a jeepney? That's weird. It's a montage. Here's my business card. It's a montage. A disco montage. We are cleaning up the streets. We're whacking the attack. And sometimes we're attacking the whack. And sometimes it's a whack attack. Because we don't have a coherent catchphrase yet for what we are doing. Maybe we should get some better publicity. Maybe hire somebody to do this stuff, to figure out what we should call this. Maybe we can do that in our montage. Kung Fu montage. We're talking to drunk people. I think that's MC Hammer now. MC Hammer's drunk. He is drunk in a hallway. We're walking past pawn shops in our montage. A Kung Fu montage. Disco Godfather and a guy with an afro. A really impressive afro in a montage. Walking down to something. Not really steps, but maybe that is a thing. And this guy's got a briefcase. And he's got his pipe. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. He's signing a piece of paper in a montage. Smokey the Bear montage. They are walking down the streets with some fine ladies in a montage. Beating up random people that they see on the street. Got real big glasses. See somebody beating up people. Doing real bad kung fu. Getting some guy, grabbing him by the sweater, slapping him across the face, his sweaty face, in a montage. I've got a dog montage.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. You look so pretty next to somebody else. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you. You look so pretty when you walk away. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you that when I see you next to me, sitting 2 seats away, with the space in between, 'cause you're never surrounded. I think you're pretty, I think you're pretty. So pretty when he makes you smile. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you. You look so pretty when the lights turn down. I'll tell you, I'll just tell you. There's no place I'd rather be than where you would love to be away from me. 'Cause I'm laughing casually. I think you're pretty. I think you're pretty.
Huh, look at this. Certified frustration-free packaging. Not frustrating, that's good. Guess I just pull here and damn it. Damn it! Okay. These are some of my favorite worst posts from the last few weeks on the Oklahoma City Craigslist page. This one is called Prince Media Pandering. And it says, Prince, you would have thought he was the president the way the media carries on about this non-talented transvestite! Exclamation point. So, transvestite! Every channel went on and still are, I say, good riddance. Typical left-wing pandering media, always pushing their cause. Hell, when Elton John dies, they will probably declare a national holiday for him. They should, because Elton John is a treasure, number one. Number two, you need to check yourself. And third, it's not media pandering. Apparently, it's a pandering media. It's a media that's run by pandas. It's a pandering media. I like that.
You don't have to imagine that we're back, because we are.
Before the throne of the Almighty, Bob will not be judged by his acts, but by his intentions. Only God can judge Bob's heart.
Are you a woman in the Utah area looking for ugly clothing? Then stop on down to the Black Dress Warehouse. We are Utah's leading supplier of black or dark gray dresses. Do you want to look like a housewife? Do you want to look like a woman who is suffering depression or is possibly mourning the loss of a loved one? Or perhaps you're a woman being haunted by the grim specter of death. If you are, then come on down to Black Dress Warehouse. We sell black dresses, and that's it. Off of Route 9 and Main Street, Black Dress Warehouse. Noodle keeps jumping into the sink.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film.
Bunny.
Yes.
Are you ready for another exciting installment of Bunny Versus starring the incomparable Bunny Williams? Are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you amped? Are you jazzed? Are you psyched? Are you primed? Are you revved up? Do you have your motor running to get out on the highway, Bunny? Are you ready?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Then without any further ado, it is time once again for Bunny Versus. And now here is your host, Bunny Williams. Take it away, Bunny!
Yeah, I gotta get a spear gun.
Yeah, you gotta... There's a lot of lizard people out there, and you gotta be prepared, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta be prepared.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking maybe of moving to Afghanistan.
Like so many Republicans right now.
Yeah. Because they're the ones who are doing it right. They know about freedom. And by freedom, is stopping anybody from doing anything they want. That's freedom.
It really says a lot about Republicans that a lot of them right now are cheering on the Taliban.
Yes.
The fuck is wrong with America right now?
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how 20 years our military has been there. And apparently managed to accomplish absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Yeah. There was absolutely no point in being there.
No.
And then just the double-sided aspect of Trump coming out and saying, "I'm pulling our troops from Afghanistan," and oh, yes, what a great leader Trump is, saving our troops. He cares about our troops. Trump getting people out of Afghanistan. This is the best news. Trump really should get the Nobel Peace Prize. And then he doesn't do it. And then Biden says, "I'm getting our people out of Afghanistan," and the same people who applauded Trump are now attacking Biden for doing what Trump said he would do.
Yeah.
You know? It just shows that, like, it's difficult because it seems like half of America doesn't care about America. Republicans' main platform right now just seems to be staying in power and not any actual
governing of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very sad. And also, you can tell that I'm a professional podcaster because I've got a ring light up here and I've got a microphone, and like all professional podcasters, I'm eating saltine crackers. Like any professional podcaster.
I found a couple of interesting things on YouTube this week, a couple of shows.
Okay.
One is called Cinema Therapy.
Okay.
And they cover movies, duh. And it's two guys. One is a filmmaker and the other is a licensed therapist.
Nice.
So they cover movies from the perspective of what is psychologically wrong with the characters in the movie. They had a fucking field day with Twilight.
Nice. Very nice. I love that. I would love to hear about movies from a therapist's perspective.
It's pretty interesting. It's really kind of fun. And yes, I recommend it. Something else that I found, which
I just subscribed to them.
What?
I just subscribed to them.
Oh, cool. Star Trek Continues.
Okay. What is that?
I don't know if I can necessarily call it good, but watching it is a very strange feeling. They are continuing the original show and just doing additional stories of the original Star Trek show. And they have all of the sets, they have all of the sound effects, they have all of the props, all of the music, and they tried to cast people as much as they could to look like the original characters.
Yeah.
So, the guy playing Captain Kirk looks totally like a guy who won a Captain Kirk look-alike contest.
Nice. Okay.
You know? Some of them they did better than others. You know,
Yeah.
Captain Kirk, they did the best, I think. But then sitting back and just watching it, it's a feeling that's very similar to an Uncanny Valley feeling.
I would imagine, yeah.
It's not Uncanny Valley because you're watching it, and it is the original Star Trek. There's just something off about it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? But they
Yeah.
hit all the music cues right and everything. It looks and feels like Star Trek.
That's awesome.
Except none of the people are quite right.
Yeah.
Now, that also made me wonder something. That as someone with a theater background as yourself, it's clear what they've done in this show, that they've just watched the show a bunch of fucking times, and they're basically doing impersonations of the people in the show.
Yeah.
Would that be considered acting?
That's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I don't know if it would be considered acting. It would probably be you just doing impressions every week.
Yeah,
You know?
you're doing an impression of one specific character
Yeah. Yeah.
every episode, which is good for the show. I don't want him bringing his interpretation of Captain Kirk. You know, if I'm watching this, I want to see Captain Kirk.
Okay, here's my spin on it. There are so many other shows you could do that with. It upsets me. It upsets me that it's like, oh, let's reboot Twilight Zone for the third time. This time, here's an all-new host. And it's in color. And everyone has cell phones. And what? This website is haunting you. And it's like, I would love for them to do what you just said about Star Trek with fucking Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Fuck some new host. Fuck some new person and some new spin on it. No. Do new episodes of the Twilight Zone in black and white with someone doing a goddamn everyone can do a Rod Serling impression.
Yeah.
You know?
And I believe we're on number 4 of Twilight Zone.
Yeah, yeah.
We had the original Rod Serling. We had the one in the 80s, which, like you really needed you need more than just Rod Serling being the host. You need Rod Serling behind it and guiding it. Because, the one in the 80s, it was okay. It was no great shakes. And then I'm pretty sure, unless this was a fever dream, Forrest Whitaker had a Twilight Zone for a while.
Yes, I totally forgot about Forrest Whitaker's Twilight Zone. Yeah.
I think everybody has, including Forrest.
So,
I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
Forrest
so we're on the 4th.
forgot he had a Twilight show and just stopped showing up.
Forrest Whitaker was great in the Aretha Franklin biopic Respect. Just want to take time to say. He was amazing in that. Really good.
And then the Jordan Peele version.
Yeah. Yeah. So so we're on the 4th Twilight Zone. But there's a lot of shows where you could just continue it.
Yeah.
And I would like to see that done with the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. So how have you been, sir?
I've been fine. This week has all been about trying to get into a schedule, because this was the first full week that the kids had of school. Minus Maxwell, because Maxwell is doing virtual school while everyone else is going to regular school. So Bella's going to school and Eleanor's going to school, but Maxwell is in virtual and they haven't started yet. I think they might be starting on Monday, but I'm not sure. So it's weird because it's like, oh, we've got to get Eleanor to school. Okay, now we need to make sure Bella's up and Bella's in school and Maxwell. Do you want breakfast? Maybe not yet. And he's just like laying in his underwear watching TV on the couch. And it's like, it's so weird. Like, I feel like I should be teaching you. Fucking learn. But no, they just haven't started yet. So that's been something. So it's just been getting used to waking up early and you know, making sure everyone is fed and has their stuff. And, you know, it's so funny because Eleanor's school experience is the same as all of our other kids' school experience. You know, like, oh, Eleanor, how was your day at school? It was good. Why don't you tell me what happened in school today? Okay, but I'm 5, so let me tell you about lunch and recess.
Yeah.
The only things I remember from my day at school. So that's hilarious.
I made a new friend. What's her name? I don't know.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about her backpack and lunchbox.
Yeah. Yeah. I started talking to this boy because he had a Space Jam backpack and we saw Space Jam, so I told him that I saw Space Jam and we talked about Space Jam. Really? What was the boy's name? I don't know, but he has a Space Jam backpack. It's like, okay, that's fine. Okay then. So that's just been, you know, getting used to waking up super crazy early, and it's interesting because when you say school to a very young child, they all have their different take on it. Emerald didn't want to be left alone at school, and Bella was super excited to go into school, and Maxwell was a little nervous. Apparently, Eleanor's thing is, Eleanor is 100% convinced that I didn't wake them up on time, and they're going to be late for school. Apparently, that's Eleanor's biggest fear is just, Dad, wake me up tomorrow for school. Make sure you wake me up on time. I don't want to be late. And it's like, you've never been late. You're fine, but that's Eleanor's fear, and I think that's interesting.
Tell everybody else, Dad forgets to wake me up. You make sure to wake me up.
Yeah, and it's like, I've never done this.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, Eleanor.
But they're convinced that I.
Never forget to wake you up.
Yeah. So what else happened this week? I came out to my parents.
Yeah.
As being gender fluid and pansexual, and I was texting pictures of the kids to my parents. Oh, how's Bella doing? Oh, well, here's a picture of Bella. Oh, Bella's getting so much older, and they're in high school. That's amazing. Do you have any pictures of Emerald? No. And then I decided to just like, you know what? Fuck it. Here's a picture of me in a dress.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, I should let you guys know that I'm gender fluid. And so sometimes I'm a woman. Most of the time I'm a man. Sometimes I'm male-leaning. Sometimes I'm female-leaning. Sometimes I'm more masculine. Sometimes I'm more feminine. Most of the time I'm a guy. Sometimes I'm a woman in a dress. And that's fine. The kids like it. My wife likes it. It's not a big deal. And my parents, I say my parents, I'm pretty sure it was just my mom. But that's beside the point. My parents said, boy, just do what makes you happy. Just be happy. And so that was a positive. I'm also in talks with a marijuana company.
Yes.
But that's it. There's nothing concrete yet, but I might be part of an advertising campaign for a local marijuana dispensary. We're not entirely sure, but I did a video this weekend, which I think was hilarious.
Yes, it was.
Love my new video with the milkshakes. I think it's a worthy successor to my last video. And hopefully they like it. Hopefully I should be hearing back from them sometime this week. And something's going to happen. I don't know what. It could be nothing, or it could be something big. We'll see. Probably somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I'm in talks with a medicinal marijuana company to do some advertising for them, or be a part of an advertising campaign, or perhaps a social media campaign. I don't know. But they want to use my videos, and that's very exciting.
Cool. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Both of those things happened on the same day, and my wife came up to me and hugged me and said, "I'm so proud of you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm proud of me too. I was really scared to make that phone call." And then I went, "Wait, what are you proud of me for?" It's like, "Oh, for coming out to your parents." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I did that. Yes. I forgot I did that because of the whole weed company wanting to work with me thing." But yeah, I'm proud of both things, I guess.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's been a weird week. How are you, Bunny?
Now, something had gotten mentioned a couple of weeks back, and I forgot to mention it on the last week's podcast. What's this about buying a church, dude?
Oh, yeah, for a while we were considering it. There was a church that has stopped being a church and is now like a residential home, and it was for sale. And my wife and I, it was like 3 a.m. and we had these talks about possibly setting up a GoFundMe and purchasing the church and making it the official Church of Ed Wood and getting like a projector and showing movies in there. But we will not be doing that because there's no parking. There's no parking at all. Where the fuck are we supposed to park? On the street? The streets are super fucking small. I don't know where we're gonna put our freaking 9 cars. And then the corner is the bus stop where the bus comes to pick up the kids. Like, it's a bitch. The only thing that we can figure out is that it was built in like the 1940s. And back then there were probably no houses near the church, but now there's houses all over the church, so there's no place to park at all, period. So, like, there's no room for our cars, let alone all of the people who might be coming to see the Church of Ed Wood, so it's all fucked. But my wife and I have been doing some home shopping.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a church, though, does it?
No.
No, it just happened to be a church. And
Yeah.
it looked really cool. It had lots of space. The windows were awesome. You know.
Yeah, there was some stained glass and some old-timey church-looking doors, big fat wooden doors.
Pretty cool. But, like, practicality, it's not going to work for us,
Yeah.
even if we wanted it to.
Yeah.
And it's way over our price point anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. For a while, we were considering purchasing
I
a church.
completely understand, and I did not think that this would be a real thing, but I still find myself kind of disappointed.
Yeah. Trust me. I know that feeling.
Yeah. No. Same.
I was totally excited, and then I was driving by it, and my very practical brain was like, dude, where are we gonna park? There's no parking. There's not enough yard space for the kids' trampoline, or the gazebo, or the dog, or, you know, like, just it's not practical for us as a family. Sure, if we wanted to make it just a church, but we'd also have it as a residence, so it wouldn't work.
But then where would the congregants park? There's no fucking parking.
None.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just ridiculous. So that sucks. But
If you could find an old film studio, I think that would be ideal.
Yeah, well, we could also consider getting, you know, the historic...
there's a historic movie theater that used to be downtown, and it got shut down during the pandemic. And now the movie theater, the old-timey movie theater, is for sale. And there was a period in time when we were excited about, hey, maybe we could purchase the movie theater. But then we looked into it, and they've rezoned it So you're not allowed to watch movies in it anymore.
What the fuck?
I don't know if it's rezoned or what, but yeah, you're not allowed to do
It can't.
movies.
If you purchase it, great. It would be a great place for weddings or maybe a church, but you can't. It can't be a movie theater. So like, what the fuck?
I think, but see, here's the thing: is I think it is a matter of you cannot function as a movie theater.
Yeah.
And pay and have people pay for the movie.
Okay, but you're not using it as a movie theater. You're using it as a church.
That's what I
Yeah,
told
that's-
Steve.
And
Yeah,
you
that's-
should be able to play whatever fucking movies you want
Yeah.
in your church.
As long as we're not charging for it.
As long as we're not charging for it. Yeah.
But again, it comes down to if, because we can't just buy a church. We have to have a place to live as well. Where are we going to park? There's literally no space for like a yard, a garden, a dog, a gazebo, a, trampoline. So it wouldn't work. It'd be fantastic if we could buy it on its own just for a church. But we are not in a financial situation to do that.
Well, but, maybe this would be a good place for us to get a little viewer feedback. What would viewers give to a GoFundMe? Do viewers want to see this happen? Do viewers have a cheap place? Let us know down in the comments somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere. We've got a lot of places for you to comment. How are you, Bunny?
That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
So what's on the shap?
It's
What's
a
on the
pretty big one.
shap? What's on the shap?
It's a bit of a big one. It's the continuation of our shapology of interconnected shaps. We talked about Norman Fell, then we talked about the rise and fall of Fred Silverman, and now we're getting to the thing that he's most known for, that has to do with a former Minnesota governor. Not governor, senator. Senator? Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we should get on over there then.
I agree.
So this has been another thrilling episode of Bunny Versus. And until next week, self-adhesive tape? Yes, please.
Love that.
And cut on that.
And cut on that. Bunny!
Yes!
I don't know what that noise was. I think it was my bottle. If you're like me, you're no doubt a big fan of this podcast, The Pope on Film. I mean, who isn't nowadays at this day and age? But only real fans, true hardcore fans who have been with us since the beginning would know two things about us. Two undeniable, really real, and in no way made up on-the-spot facts about the both of us, America's hottest podcasting couple, Bunny and Steve. First and foremost, Bunny, the first fact, which is about you, is the fact that in your spare time, you are a pioneer in the new field of fish choreography. So can you just take some time to explain to the audience what that is?
When I was very young, I had observed my goldfish swimming back and forth in its little bowl to the rhythm of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I had become fascinated ever since, and have had many fish, and have been working on this for decades and decades.
Yeah.
And I have learned how I can train fish of any species. Okay?
Oh, nice.
How I could train fish to swim in synchronized patterns to various forms of music. Well, I say various forms of music, anything but death metal. Too many fish die trying to swim in synchronicity to death metal songs. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Love the makeup, but
Very sad, yeah.
I being a film buff, I can't help but I really lean towards Busby Berkeley type productions, and it's even more akin to painting because you could use different colored fish swimming in different colored patterns.
That sounds beautiful.
Sharks are really good for taking up space, but not too much space. Dolphins are great background players. Okay? Dolphins really can't ever carry a show because they're always backstage hitting on the pufferfish. So,
yeah.
But in the background, they are awesome.
Yeah. It sounds like a real burgeoning field. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for being at the forefront.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a big deal. And the second fact that you would know about me is that I'm a lover of history. I love it, but I'm also a storyteller. So what I like to do here at this juncture, I'm holding a chicken. Okay. What I like to do at this juncture is I like to get a story. I like to get a story from the history books, maybe one that people don't know too well, and reword it via my own unique storytelling style. And that's what this is. Another educationally uneducational installment of Steve's Historic Approximations!
Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun.
Or SHAP, as I like to call it, repeatedly, annoyingly, whether anyone wants me to or not. Personally, I like the name SHAP. It's entertaining yet educational. It's it's like if Schoolhouse Rock got stoned.
Yes.
Anyway, this week on the old Shappity Shap, I will be finishing our first ever Shapology.
Yes.
A trilogy of interconnected Shaps. 2 weeks ago, we discussed how actor Norman Fell was kicked off of the wildly successful TV show Three's Company to star in a spin-off called The Ropers that was canceled. The Screwing of Norman Fell. Great Shap. I'm really proud of that. Then last week, we discussed the rise and fall of TV executive Fred Silverman and the hilariously disastrous 1979 TV mid-season, which is what led to the Ropers being canceled in the first place. And finally, this week, we wrap up the Shapology with a look at what is probably the biggest thing that Fred Silverman is known for. And to fully understand it, we need to discuss the early years of Saturday Night Live!
Okay.
So here's a quick version for you. Johnny Carson owned late night Saturdays on TV because Monday through Friday, The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson was the biggest thing. It was so big that on Saturday nights they would run reruns. The Tonight Show, The Best of Carson. Carson's Comedy Classics is what I grew up with. They were like syndicated best of clips of Johnny Carson, and they would run on UHF. And they would always be late at night, so I would stay up as a kid so I could watch Carson's Comedy Classics on TV. So in 1974, the all-powerful Carson demanded more time off and realized that if he wanted a weekday off, he could just air a best of. So he pulled the Best of Carson from Saturday nights, and now NBC has a hole that needs filling, desperately needs a new Saturday night show. So the head of late night programming, a man named Penis Everswole.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Dick Ebersol. I was really close, though.
Yes.
I was really close with Penis Everswole. So Dick Ebersol, he goes
I just
to...
thought he was Norwegian.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So Dick Ebersol goes to crazed Canadian Lorne Michaels, and he says, live variety show, and the suits don't like the idea, but also they're desperate as fuck. So NBC Saturday Night premieres in 1975. It instantly becomes the cool hip show, and Lorne Michaels and the cast are stars. Cut to! It's 1979. It's been almost 5 years, and Lorne Michaels is struggling to hold shit together. Chevy Chase is gone. Dan Aykroyd is gone. John Belushi just left, and there's 2 Murrays on the show. And that's fascinating to me, because I remember Bill Murray being on the show, but not one of the Murray brothers also being on the show, and that's fucking weird.
Brian Doyle?
Yeah, Brian Doyle Murray. Paul Schaefer, the musician, is now bumped to official cast member, along with writer Al Franken. And Harry Shearer is a cast member, too. It's a crazy season.
You gotta kind of feel a little sorry for Brian Doyle Murray, though. Because, like what?
Yeah.
Because, wherever he wound, because he was already a face in things before Bill Murray ever showed up. You know?
Yeah.
So, like...
And then Bill Murray just shows up and steals all the thunder.
Yeah, and then suddenly it's like it kind of reminds me of like you and your brother, okay? Like you're Brian Doyle Murray, and you get this kind of little comedy thing going for yourself, and you're making appearances on shit, and you know. And then Jose shows up, and he's like, oh, that looks like fun. I'm going to do that same thing. And just, like, takes it away from you now. He's all fucking famous, and it looks like you're riding his coattails. You know?
I am
So I feel
surprised
sorry for Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah. I am surprised that my brother hasn't started a podcast.
Yeah.
That's my next prediction, that my brother is going to be like, anybody can start a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to talk about, I don't know, fucking Howard Stern. So 1979 to 1980, the 5th season of Saturday Night Live, it's an interesting one. Especially because a lot of people think, oh, the first 5 years of Saturday Night Live, that was just the original cast. And then, boom, it's the 80s. But it's just not true. The show is changing. People are getting really burned out. And no one more so than Lorne Michaels. And so it's near the end of Season 5. SNL, as it is now known, is a definite success, with its cast members becoming stars, making movies. But it's all getting difficult at this point. It's all getting difficult to keep together. Also, at this point in time, pretty much, cocaine has been promoted to a featured player.
Yes.
Basically. And as the idea of a 6th season gets closer, the big question is, will Lorne Michaels renew his contract? Because Gilda Radner, Jane Curtin, Garrett Morris, Bill Murray, they all basically said that we will happily come back to Season 6 if and only if Lorne Michaels comes back. So it's very important to the future of the show that someone work with Lorne Michaels to get him back on the show. Hopefully a negotiations master. Someone who has a calm, level head. Someone who can take the time and the energy to work with Lorne Michaels and to renew his contract. Unfortunately, the person whose job it is to renew Lorne Michaels' contract is the one and only Fred Silverman.
Yes.
So he helped CBS beat ABC.
I'm kind of feeling that, like, horses should whinny in the background every time you say his name now.
Yeah, that's really good. So
Like,
here's a really quick version of last week's Shaft. Fred Silverman helped CBS beat ABC in the ratings, and he beat ABC so bad that ABC then hired Fred Silverman and helped ABC beat CBS. And then our TV Icarus thought that, oh, I've saved one network. I've saved two networks. What, NBC? You're in last place? Well, I can easily save you two. So when it was, but spoiler alert, he absolutely could not and almost bankrupted NBC. The entire network almost went out of business due to Fred Silverman not doing a good job. Yeah. So when it was time to renew Lorne Michaels' contract, it's the end of 1979. It's the beginning of the 1980s. Fred Silverman was turning a sinking ship into a sinking ship on fire.
Yes.
And there's also a bomb on the ship. So Fred Silverman he knew he had to renew Lorne Michaels' contract, but he was also busy yelling and screaming and throwing shit in his office at unpaid interns and subordinates.
Okay.
That took up a good deal of his time. And it's like, I know I need to help Lorne Michaels, but also, if I spend so much time and effort getting Lorne Michaels to renew his contract, who's going to yell at the coffee boy?
Yeah.
So, at the contract negotiations, Fred Silverman, he doesn't even show up. He's like, I'm too busy, I can't show up. And so Fred Silverman's subordinates show up, and they start berating Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels, I guess it's time to renew your contract. Oh, look, it's the SNL guy. Hey, remember how you made us buy the rights to Gilda Radner's Broadway show and it ended up bombing? So what, Lorne Michaels? Are you here to screw us again? Okay. That last bit is a quote from an NBC executive who literally said to Lorne Michaels, so, are you here to fucking screw us again?
Wow.
Lorne Michaels felt disrespected, and rightfully so. There is yelling and screaming, and Lorne Michaels storms out of the meeting, convinced that his time at NBC is up. He is disgusted with how the NBC studio execs have absolutely disrespected him after turning a hole in late-night programming into the coolest, hippest show on television. Lorne Michaels is pissed, and this story starts working its way around backstage until it reaches the ears of cast member and future Minnesota Senator Mr. Al Franken.
Yes.
His name rose in SNL as the original cast slowly disappeared, and everyone assumed, rightfully so, that if Lorne Michaels, heaven forbid, is going to leave, then the person who will replace him is Al Franken, replacing Lorne Michaels as the future producer of Saturday Night Live. Al Franken was so certain of his place on the throne that he began a very well-received series of monologues, regular monologues on Weekend Update, announcing that the 1980s would be, as he put it, the Al Franken decade.
Yes.
And his whole bit in the monologues would be he would keep saying his name over and over again. Hello, thank you for having me on the show. Me, Al Franken.
Yeah, which I found that pretty amusing. I liked that idea. I enjoyed that 10 years. Thank you, Al, for milking that fucking for like a record time. But other than that, previously, like I never thought Al Franken was funny.
As a kid, I always hated when Franken and Davis would show up.
Yeah, I hated.
And it was like, I love this. I love this rerun of SNL. This is really cool. And oh shit, it's a Franken and Davis bit. Okay. Maybe something else is on. So I was never that big. So Fred Silverman is in charge of NBC. He's flailing wildly at resurrecting NBC. He almost bankrupts the whole network, and now he's ignoring Lorne Michaels' contract negotiations. Al Franken hears this, and he decides to respond.
Okay.
Now, before this now infamous moment in Saturday Night Live history, SNL had made fun of Fred Silverman before. John Belushi played Fred Silverman a number of times in a handful of skits. It got laughs, and Fred Silverman liked them. But it needs to be said that Fred Silverman's lackeys would always make sure that he saw a copy of the script making fun of them before they ever got on the air.
Okay.
He would never ask for changes, he just wanted to know when SNL was going to make fun of it. And he would read the scripts in advance, and then there you go. But overall, Fred Silverman didn't mind being lightly made fun of on Saturday Night Live. He considered it an honor. But Al Franken was pissed as fuck that NBC, and Fred Silverman in particular, were shitting on Lorne Michaels. So it's the next to last episode of the 5th season of Saturday Night Live.
So this also sounds to me like this is also where Saturday Night Live kind of loses its edge as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because part of the fun of the original Saturday Night Live was it was dangerous. You know? It was live. Yeah. It looked really rough as shit. You know? Like the sets might fall down at any time. And you knew that they were all on something. And it's an ensemble of illicit drugs. And anything could happen. It was exciting for that. You know?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So, and this sounds like where it really kind of lost that.
No, you can absolutely 100% hear this story and say, oh, this is the exact moment that the original cast of SNL ended.
Yeah.
So, it's the next to last episode of the 5th season. It's not the next to last, but it's the next to last episode of the 5th season. Bob Newhart is hosting, and this is something for all of you young people. Back in the 70s, people loved hearing a nerdy bald guy awkwardly stutter. Hence, Newhart Mania.
Yeah.
Because that was his whole thing. Al Franken writes an intense, personal, fierce monologue for Weekend Update that he calls a limo for a lame-o.
Okay.
In his monologue, Al Franken tells a story about how he had a great idea for a skit while leaving 30 Rockefeller Plaza, and while he's trying to catch a taxi, but a fan stops Al Franken and starts pestering him, and then boom, he forgets the idea. Why? Because Al Franken does not get a limo. But then Al Franken starts going into, you know who does get a limo? NBC star Gary Coleman and NBC president Fred Silverman. And Al Franken launches into an attack on Fred Silverman, even going so far as to pull up a chart of the top 10 TV shows on network television and says, about the network's top 10. Now, I see some A's here, some B's, some C's, even an S. You know what I don't see? I don't see any N's. He then personally attacks Fred Silverman. He calls him a total failure. He says, quote, this guy has been here 2 years.
You lost me with the letters.
Oh, because here's all of the top 10 shows and then the networks that they're on. And it's like, well, I see some C's here, some A's, some B's, some S's. You know what I don't see? I don't see any N's because NBC did not have a top 10 show on television. So then he starts attacking Fred Silverman. He calls him a total failure. He calls him a lame-o. He says the guy's been here 2 years and he hasn't done diddly squat. He calls him a timid, indecisive, easily pressured man. He's weak.
Wow.
And it's a real below-the-belt attack. It's savage. And it ends with a contest. He says, Al Franken, should deserve a limo, and I dare say I deserve a limo more than the lame-o Fred Silverman. So he gives the address to Fred Silverman's office, and he tells viewers to send postcards to Fred Silverman's office demanding that Al Franken get a limo.
Okay.
So this is the monologue that Al Franken writes. And at dress rehearsal, it kills. It's super funny. Everyone thinks it's hilarious. And that is when Fred Silverman's subordinates see the monologue at dress rehearsal and they go, oh shit, this is a really nasty attack. Fred Silverman's not going to like this. We need to show him the script beforehand. But here's the problem. It's a Saturday. Fred Silverman is at home with his wife, with his kids, and now you mean to tell me that some gopher, some unpaid intern, some freaking lackey has to risk their life by calling Mr. Throw Shit around the office?
Yeah.
Call him at home on his day off and read to Fred Silverman on the phone a savage personal attack. Fuck no! So Fred Silverman isn't notified beforehand of Al Franken's monologue. The episode goes live. Fred Silverman sees the limo for a lame-o skit, and Fred Silverman just goes apeshit. He goes absolutely apeshit. He starts losing it. Fred Silverman assumes that Lorne Michaels deliberately allowed Al Franken to attack him. That is not true. The truth of the matter was, Lorne Michaels said, well, this monologue will infuriate Fred Silverman, but you know what I like about the monologue? The show is 5 minutes short, and the monologue's 5 minutes. I'm leaving the monologue in.
Yeah.
So, but Fred Silverman has had enough, and he is done with Lorne Michaels, with contract negotiations. He doesn't want to talk to any of them. So now Lorne Michaels is like, okay, this is it. This is the last straw. I'm burned out. Fred Silverman, piece of shit. I'm officially leaving SNL. But the network wants it to continue. So Lorne Michaels says, well, if I'm gone, a writer will have to take over because they understand the show. And Fred Silverman is like, oh, so you want a writer to be in charge of SNL when you're gone. You mean Al Franken? That son of a bitch is gone.
Yeah.
There is no way I'm letting Al Franken be the producer of Saturday Night Live. So Fred Silverman personally hires associate producer Gene Dumanian to head SNL instead of Al Franken. And so the fall of SNL, with SNL's 6th season and the now infamous Saturday Night Live 80 with Charlie Rocket and Denny Dillon and Gilbert Gottfried, the season that was
I
so
still
bad.
have PTSD over that shit.
Yeah, the season that was so bad that NBC almost canceled it. That all happened because Fred Silverman was made fun of on Saturday Night Live. Fred Silverman
but like,
himself
not just, but
almost killed Saturday Night Live.
Not only was it like, what the fuck, who are these people? But it almost kind of like Charlie Rocket bears a resemblance to Chevy Chase. Not a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Almost like they tried to fool us. Like, oh no, this is the cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they won't notice.
And I feel that at the time, Gilbert Gottfried did have an Al Franken look about him. He had that like big sort of fro of hair. So yeah, Fred Silverman, not only did he almost bankrupt the entirety of NBC, but he also led to Saturday Night Live almost getting canceled. It's all Fred Silverman's fault. So here's what happened after A Limo for a Lamo. Fred Silverman was basically given a vote of no confidence by the board at NBC. They didn't trust him anymore. They didn't think he did a good job. So Fred Silverman quit in 1981, and you might think, oh, well, that's the end of Fred Silverman. No! Fred Silverman started the Fred Silverman Company and started creating TV shows to either sell to a major network or to sell off to syndication. And he personally helped create the TV shows Matlock, Jake and the Fat Man, In the Heat of the Night, The Father Dowling Mysteries, Diagnosis Murder, and more.
Wow.
So, like, all of those shows in the 80s and 90s that were in syndication forever that, like, your mom or grandmother liked to watch, yeah, that was all Fred Silverman. So he landed on his feet, and good for him. But also, you screwed Norman Fell and almost killed Saturday Night Live. So, good for you, Fred Silverman. And also, fuck you.
Yes.
But that is the end of our Shapology of 3 interconnected shaps. This closes the curtain on Fred Silverman and his life.
Does.
He has died of cancer, and it's very sad. But man, what an insane career. The things he helped create. He helped create Scooby-Doo. He helped create Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, Three's Company. The list goes on and on, you know?
Yeah.
It's fascinating. His entire career is just... There's a million other stories that I didn't say for time, you know?
Oh, I would imagine.
Yeah. But man, what a life. What a life this guy had. And that's it for Shap this week. What's coming up next week, I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it's going to be good. So join us next week for more up-to-date... no, that's... What's my outro? Join us next week for more educationally uneducational fun with Steve's Historic Approximation! And cut on that. Bonnie!
Yes!
Unfortunately, we have a movie to get to. We need to talk about a horrible sequel to a horrible movie. We need to talk about Vanessa Angel?
Okay.
That's weird. We need to talk about horrible people in a horrible film. This is not going to be fun because it's a horrible movie.
Yes.
And did you know they made more? They made more. They made a lot more. We'll be talking about
They made a lot more?
Yeah, they made a lot more. We'll be getting into that. And I have a bombshell about this movie and another movie that we did on the podcast. I can't wait to get to this bombshell, but before we get to any of that, maybe we can take a break. Should we take a break, Bunny?
We should take a break.
Oh, I concur. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after this. Do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do do skitty bop a doo wow and break.
Where's my puppet?
It's like a fucking Teamster. Every time you turn around, he's off on a coffee break. We got a building to put up here.
you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Yeah. Oh, baby, all I need is my love. I say I'm gonna get high. Somebody knows my soul, baby. Say I'm gonna make you my friend. Oh, I'm gonna keep on trying. I'm gonna keep on trying.
On the afternoon of March 10th, 2016, an undetermined number of people, oftentimes fluctuating between 2 and 4.5 individuals, were recording a podcast on the internet. 3 of them were never seen again. The next morning, the one survivor, Bunny Williams, was picked up on a roadside, blood-caked and screaming church organist. Bunny said he had the #1 podcast in hell. The man babbled a mad tale, a vaguely Mexican family in the isolated state of Oklahoma, a film podcast that's only indirectly about films, a filthy podcast that somehow prominently featured young children. Then Bunny fell into catatonia. Colorado lawmen mounted a 5-minute manhunt but could not locate the macabre podcast. No facts, no information, no iTunes account. Officially, on the records, the Pope on Film never existed. But over the years, reports of a bizarre grisly podcast have persisted all across the internet. The Pope on Film has not stopped. It haunts your Facebook feed. It frightens Twitter. It vaguely jump scares Stitcher. The Pope on Film seems to have no end. I like these posts in the rants and raves section of the Oklahoma City Craigslist page because I guess it's just justifying my beliefs. People are horrible. The headline is USA and Mexico. God. Alright. Keep a positive attitude towards this.
I was visiting with a blood relative who was married to a Mexican. And the relative brought up Trump and the wall. The relative was irritated that Trump thinks Mexico will pay for the wall. Being a nice relative, I just listened and was told Mexico hates Trump. I feel as if I have stumbled onto something. Go Trump, go, baby, build that beautiful wall.
So happy to be a brown-skinned individual in the Bible Belt. Gee, I feel so welcomed and invited. Just feel so warm. People are treating me so nice here. Like, man, they make sure to put their sights on me first. It's like I have red dots all around me from their sniper rifles. Yay! I'm gonna get me a pickup truck and a dog and a shotgun. I'll start saying y'all. Are you a soulless monster stitched together with the bodies of the dead? Were you brought to life via a hideous experiment that was meant to usurp God's authority? Are you damned to roam the earth, a soulless monster without a soul? Well then, simply try Chia Soul. Chia Soul. Simply spread the seeds, water them, and in a few weeks you'll have your very own soul. Chia Soul. By the maker of Chia Pubes. We will be right back with more. I think. I mean, we will, right? I mean, we are going to be back. Are we going to be back? This isn't like. Have we been canceled? Is this it? Is this the end? Are we all going to die? No, you know what? We'll be back. We'll be back. Just trust me.
We'll be fine. We'll be back.
In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily. Are you from Mexico? Are you from Mexico? Huh? In the good old days, I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out of a stretcher, folks.
Say the secret void, and you get to come back next week.
when an evil villain threatens to take control of the world.
In just a few hours, I will control the minds of the children through their own television sets.
There is only one group we can turn to.
Sorry about that.
Now, it will take a legendary hero
Why don't you pick on somebody half your size?
Kahuna, my little arch enemy.
to unite them and create the ultimate team.
We can become our super selves and help Kahuna. All right, kids.
We're about to have company.
Nice spot. A little candy cane for my taste, but then I'm an adult.
Team, now.
Brain Boy,
Playtime is over.
Baby Courageous,
It's my time.
Bouncing Boy,
I like bouncing. Can our brother get some water? Get back to work.
and Cupid Girl.
Spread the love.
I love you, man.
This summer,
Get them, get them, get them. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
adventure comes in small packages.
Is he gone?
Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. Shake it up, shake it up. Shake it up.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film.
Act 3, Bunny!
Act 3! Act 3!
Yes, Bunny, my friend, it is time once again for all of us here at the Pope on Film podcast to drunkenly stumble our way into the third and final act of the show. And it is said third act wherein we finally and eventually get around to discussing our hand-picked, handcrafted, and hand-sung third thing, Movie of the Week! And today, we get ever closer to finally finish our summer of bottoming with a look at the number 2 worst movie of all time, according to the Internet Movie Database, the 2004 Scott Baio John Voight kids movie, also known as Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
Yes.
My body rejected this film like a bad kidney. I'm just gonna come out and say it. This movie gave me eye cancer.
We did have to get really high first. Because we knew we were going into a danger zone. Okay? But like for the first, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, I was like, well, okay, it's stupid, but it's made for kids. I don't know. I think maybe a kid would be entertained by this. That changed over the course of the movie. You know?
Yeah.
Where it was just
a lot of violence.
Getting worse and worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Real bad. Real bad. But before we really get into it, I have a big-time earth-shattering exclusive for you, buddy.
Okay.
You see, this film stars John Voight and Scott Baio. God damn! What a parade of stars this movie has. How'd you land that casting coup?
Yeah.
Wow. So,
they had
I have
signs. They were holding up signs on the corner of Beverly Avenue.
Yeah. So, I have obtained through rather scrupulous means an actual audio recording of Scott Baio and John Voight's first meeting together.
Okay.
Apparently, they were recording the first time that the cast met each other, and I happened to get a recording of that first meeting. So would you like to hear it, Bunny?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm just going to be playing it over here, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let me press play off screen here. Oh, I'm so happy that we're finally meeting. You and I, Scott Baio and John Voight. So happy that we're finally working together. Man, people have been clamoring for a John Voight and Scott Baio film. I can already tell that you're a great person to work with, and we really hit it off. You know what? Let's make a promise. Let's make a promise to get together again. Not for a movie, but for something else. I've got an idea. Okay. If they ever elect a president that's a total rapist piece of shit, I'm not talking like a dumb president, like, oh, I'm George Bush. I don't know how to spell, and I'm kind of an idiot. No, I mean a total fuckball. We're talking racist, con man, rapist, a real piece of shit. We're talking walking on Air Force One with toilet paper in his shoe type of a dumbass. If they ever elect a dumbass like that, let's just go all in on supporting it.
Yes.
I think that'd be a great idea in sort of an avant-garde, Andy Kaufman sort of a thing. We'll just go all in on this piece of shit, and it'll be funny. Okay, now let's go make this piece of shit movie. And there you go. Wow, what an exclusive audio recording.
Fucking amazing. Where did you get that?
I had to seduce a few people.
Wow. I mean, I have to say that as the one who does the sound engineering on the Pope on Film, my expert opinion would say that was very authentic.
Yeah, 100% authentic.
Yeah.
Absolutely authentic. It's incredible that we were able to get this.
Yeah.
So, okay, so every summer here on the Pope on Film podcast, we do themed summers, and we will watch a certain group of films or a certain type of films, and oh man, the edibles just kicked in, so the rest of this is going to be really exciting. I just realized how high I am. Okay, so every summer we do themed summers, and we've done the summer of Star Wars and the summer of Saw, and then I had a plan to watch every shitty WWE Studios movie, which means 98% of all of the movies that they ever made. But then last summer, right before we were going into the summer, Fred Willard died. So we had an entire summer where we watched Fred Willard's films, and that was a whole bunch of fun. I'm so happy that at the last second I was able to get his first film. That Teenage Bride movie. So happy to have finally tracked that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. But it was a really fun summer.
I still have it.
Oh, good. Oh, nice.
I keep most of the movies.
Yeah, not me. I was so happy to delete Super Babies. You have no idea. I was like, I've seen you. Now it's time for us to say goodbye. I was pretty happy to get rid of it. So my idea was, last summer was so much fun looking through the movies of Fred Willard that this summer we had to pay for how fun last summer was.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something really bad. So we've been watching movies, select movies, a lot of movies that the fans on Twitter have voted on, which was a lot of fun.
Yes.
But we've been watching movies from IMDb's Bottom 100, and we are now in the end game because this week's movie, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2, is the number 2 worst movie on the list. A movie that Variety called Look Who's Talking meets Plan 9 from Outer Space. And I am sick and tired of people comparing bad movies to Plan 9 from Outer Space. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know how many movies Ed Wood has on the IMDb bottom 100? 0. You know how many films Yui Bowl has on the list? I think there's 3.
Yeah.
But we're gonna mention Planet from Outer Space because it's easy. But no, it's time to move on from comparing every bad movie to Planet from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Piss me off. Might be 4 movies on the list, but no.
Especially
no,
when
off.
The Room exists.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate having to throw Tommy Wiseau under the bus like that, but please.
Yeah. So, okay. In 1999, a movie came out called Baby Geniuses. It starred Kathleen Turner and Christopher Lloyd.
Really?
Okay, that's not the world's best cast because I still have nightmares of the Oogie Loves and the Big Balloon Adventure, which featured Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
But that cast is
As do we all.
Yeah,
Right.
but I'd rather take Kathleen Turner and Christopher Lloyd over John Voight and Scott Baio.
Yes.
Fuck. And also, that film also had Dom DeLuise, Kim Cattrall, Peter McNichol.
See, the thing about Scott Baio is that we never knew is that when he was in Charles in Charge,
of our days,
he
and
meant
our
it.
nights.
He meant it. And now
Yeah.
he wants to have carve out a nice small part of the Reich for himself.
I'm going to work on a list of TV shows that match with other TV show titles that go with other TV show titles.
Okay.
Like just the 10 of us? 8 is enough.
True.
Because I was just thinking about oh shit. Who's the boss? Well,
Yeah.
Charles in Charge.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. That's who the boss is. It just makes sense. So, okay. So, the first film came out in 1999. It cost $12 million to make, and it made almost $37 million at the box office. It was the 10th highest grossing PG movie to come out in 1999. And it was also the first film to use CGI to make it seem like someone was talking.
Yes.
No movie had ever used CGI to make lips move before 1999's Baby Geniuses. And apparently all of this was enough to make a sequel. The problem was, the first film, it was a success. But also, critics hated it. Hell, fucking audiences hated it. And so when it was time to make a sequel, nobody wanted to be in this piece of shit. At all.
Well, you know, I mean, if you're talking about the first one, now I haven't seen it, but like, okay, it's talking babies, and yes, Look Who's Talking was kind of amusing. And it is Christopher Lloyd and Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
I would consider giving it a pop. So like I can kind of understand its box office. You know?
Yeah.
But if you have that if everybody's hating it, why are you making a sequel?
And then, who in 2004 is thinking Hollywood star Scott Baio?
Yeah.
In 2004. This
Yeah.
movie wasn't made in 1993, and like, oh, let's put Scott Baio in it. No, this is 2004. This is ridiculous. So that's why the first film
Yeah, but
had
this was at the time where, you know, he would show up at your house personally for $2,000.
Yeah. But like 2004, we're talking The Passion of the Christ, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Charlize Theron with no makeup in Monster, Ray, the Ray Charles movie.
Yeah.
Fucking like all of these movies. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, for shit's sake, and someone says, "Yeah, we should get Scott Baio to star in this movie." At that same time, is ridiculous. So that's why the first film had names, and the second film has Chachi as a businessman, and John Voight literally doing an Joseph Mengele impression.
Yeah.
In an interview, he did say, John Voight specifically said that he based his work in the film on Joseph Mengele. There's also the character of Kylie, the blonde brainiac and honor roll student, that's played by actress Skylar Shea. You might remember this person because she also co-starred in 2007's Bratz movie.
Really?
So she was the blonde one in the Bratz movie, and now she's the blonde one in Super Baby Super Geniuses too. So kudos to her for being in two of the worst movies of all time. If only she was in Cats. But that started me to thinking. We watched Bratz this summer for our summer of bottoming.
Yes.
It was number 57 on the list of the 100 worst movies of all time. But who else was in the Bratz movie with Skylar Shea, Bunny? The principal in Bratz was played by John Voight.
It was Bratz. Jeannie and I were thinking, like, what the hell was it that we saw John Voight in recently where he had the fake fucking nose?
Yeah, that was Bratz. John Voight was in that. But then that got me thinking, wait a second. John Voight and this random actor, Skylar Shea, were in the Bratz movie? And now you mean to tell me that John Voight and this same blonde woman were also in Super Baby's Baby Geniuses too? At this point, I'm thinking, there's gotta be something up. There has to be something up. So I do some investigating, and apparently Super Baby's Baby Geniuses 2 and all of the other Baby Geniuses movies, which we will get to, were all done by John Voight's production company.
Okay.
Who also had a hand in making the Bratz film. And what did John Voight do? He put his goddaughter in the movies.
Oh.
Skylar Shea is related to John Voight. That's how she got in Bratz and how she got in Super Baby's Baby Geniuses too.
What?
I've uncovered the truth.
Yes, you have.
This is a big deal. She is only in these movies because she is related to a famous person.
You're Q and a half.
Yeah, thank you. Really proud of that. Now, here's the difficult thing. I try to find the good in everything. Even in a bad movie we watch, I try and find some positives. I mean, Birdemic had heart. That was all just made by one dude, and he's trying his best. And the film has an Ed Woodian, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but Bunny, how did you like Birdemic? I kind of had my own cat-related emergency going on last week, so I didn't get to find out how you liked it.
Yeah, you weren't here for the end of that episode.
Yeah. So how'd you like Birdemic? Did I lose you?
Oh, how did I like Birdemic?
Yeah, how did you like it?
Yeah, because I was not here to find out how you liked it.
You know, they add,
Your silence,
it's all just so amateurish. Is basically how it is. Like they've almost got the steps down right, but they don't know how to actually do the steps.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
don't know how to
That's kind of where it is. Like the first act turn came pretty much where you would expect it to. You know?
Yeah.
Things like that. But
Alright. Now, I'll
bad.
let you guys
The
get back to-
dialogue was bad. The script was bad. The acting was bad. The effects were bad.
I know, wasn't it wonderful?
Everything was bad and amateurish.
Of course, which made it
You
good.
didn't like it?
Just
Especially
hanging
that
out.
song.
Hanging out.
I don't know if I'm necessarily
Hanging
saying
out
I
with
don't
the
like
family.
it.
Having ourselves a party. Just
I
hanging out.
had been curious to like see the kind of growth as filmmakers for this dude, but as Mr. Steve brought up last week, turns out not good.
Not good. Not good.
Alright, well, let's back to Super Baby Jesus 2.
Yeah, so Birdemic Head Hard and Alone in the Dark, if you squinted, it kind of looked like a first season episode of X-Files or Supernatural, and at least Battlefield Earth scammed the Church of Scientology for a few $1 million.
Yes.
But the only positive I can think about in relation to this movie is at least a few midget stuntmen got jobs that month.
Yes.
At least it's only an hour and a half.
But I wasn't really buying that any of these babies were geniuses.
Just because babies can talk doesn't mean they're geniuses, I think is
No.
what you're trying to say. And
I mean,
that is very
you're setting
true.
You're setting the bar kind of low there if that's what you're considering.
Yeah. At least it's only an hour and a half. That's another positive.
That is another positive.
There's nothing good about this movie. At least Scott Baio got punched in the face, but that's only 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless it's an entire movie. Unless it's an entire movie of Scott Baio getting his face punched in, that would be
Yes.
great. But there's nothing good about this film. John Voight is a literal Nazi doing experiments on children.
Man, that movie is awesome. I really want to do it now. Just 2 hours. Like the predecessor of the movie Ass. But just basically Scott Baio's face and just
Punch, punch, punch, punch, punch,
for
punch.
2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be hypnotic and spellbinding.
Scott Baio's character in this film, it seemed familiar, and I was trying to like put my finger on it, and then it hit me. He acts in this film. He carries himself in this film exactly like Jonah from the TV show Superstore.
Okay.
Great show on NBC, but that's basically Scott Baio's character. He's a little bit, I don't know, nebbish, I guess you could say. But yeah, he was basically doing a Jonah from Superstore. Vanessa Angel is also in this. She was a sex pot eye candy actress that popped up a lot in the 90s. They did a TV show based on the movie Weird Science, and they couldn't get the woman from the movie. So they got Vanessa Angel half naked in it, and it lasted for more seasons than it should, solely on the fact that Vanessa Angel was very attractive in the 90s. She was also the romantic interest in the lowbrow bowling comedy Kingpin, which I never liked.
I've never actually seen that.
It's a Farrelly Brothers movie at the peak of the Farrelly Brothers, so like, oh, here's a 10-minute shit sequence. Oh no, so somebody has a boner. Oh, but they've got to meet their grandmother, like that sort of shit.
Yeah.
You know? So
13-year-old boy shit.
yeah, so like it really looked so she was very big in the 90s and she popped up all over the place, but I imagine her career is definitely faltering if she went from acting in Kingpin with Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray to being Scott Baio's wife in 2004.
Yeah.
That's not a star on the rise, is what I'm saying.
No.
Also, how excited were you, Bunny, to see the cameo 37 minutes in by popular boy band O-Town?
Is that who they were?
Were they actually someone?
Yeah, they were legendary boy band O-Town, formed in the year 2000 on a reality show called Making the Band. I know you're a big O-Town fan. You don't have to hide that from me. It's all right.
Yeah.
I know you were excited to first go, what? Whoopi Goldberg? How did they get her other than waving a check? And then, what? Whoopi Goldberg and O-Town? Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So, fun fact.
Whoopi Goldberg was a surprise, but not really, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And then in the movie, they called her Whoops.
Yes.
She's Whoops.
Oh, how cute is that?
And has she ever done another movie in the franchise?
No,
That's the
no, but we'll be.
important thing.
No, but we will be getting to the franchise in a little bit. Okay, so here's
we
a fun.
may assume that she did not appreciate being called Whoops.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not. But wow, it's really shocking to see Whoopi Goldberg in this movie. Usually she does good movies, like that one where she was a cop with a T-Rex.
Yes.
She makes such good career choices. What is she doing in a bad film?
Yeah.
So, fun fact, when a bad movie comes along and reviewers start tearing into this bad movie, there's usually one or two movie reviewers who will go against the current and be like, okay, sure, The Room is bad, but it is really fun to watch in a bad sort of way. When you see it as a comedy, this is a wonderful film. Usually, most films, even if it's a horrible piece of shit, will have a few good reviews.
Yeah.
As a result, there have only been 44 movies that have gotten 0% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. In all of the films that have been reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes, only 44 films have gotten a 0%, meaning that no one wrote a single favorable review.
Yeah.
Now, I have a small sample of some of the movies that got 0 positive reviews. And I think most of them you will recognize, and I think you'll agree. So let's just go down the list. Staying Alive, the John Travolta film.
Okay.
Not a single good review. Bo Derek's Bolero.
Oh my God.
Not a single good review. Is that where the theme to Bolero is from?
What?
That song. That is called Bolero.
No, Bolero's for. I think it's part of Carmen.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, because I was like, that'd be weird if one of the worst films of all time had a very iconic.
But if we want to go there, it's from Carmen, but it became popularized in the movie 10 with Dudley Moore and Bo Derek.
There you go.
And she became so attached to the song that they gave her a movie named Bolero.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that got 0 positive reviews. Jaws the Revenge, which I have issues with. We have been over that.
Yes.
I have issues. That is something I have learned this summer. What else? Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Okay.
Wagons East, which was John Candy's last film. I thought the premise of that film was cute. that you have to think.
I can kind of deal with Highlander: The Quickening.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I always like
if you just roll with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I always like the premise of Wagonese. Like, you had to think that so many people were headed west to find gold and to be successful. You got to think there were some people who were like, this is fucking horrible. Can we go back?
Yeah.
Like, I like that concept. I think that's a good concept. Simon Says, spelled S-E-Z, starring Dennis Rodman. There's a reason why Dennis Rodman is not known as an action superstar, and that reason is the movie Simon Says. Ballistics X vs. Sever, which used to be on the IMDb bottom 100 but is not anymore. Adam Sandler's The Ridiculous Six, which I have not seen.
Yes.
Amber, have you seen The Ridiculous Six? No? Okay. Yeah, okay. The 2016...
I heard watching The Ridiculous Six could put you in the hospital.
Yeah, that's not surprising. That is not surprising. What else? The 2016 remake of Cabin Fever. John Travolta's 2018 film Gotti, and it should come as no surprise, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. But here's the thing. This movie is so bad. It's not just a bad movie. It is a notoriously bad movie. And for a very long time, this movie had the #1 spot as the absolute worst movie of all time.
Yeah.
So, it's so notoriously bad that I think that when it was released on DVD, it was a bit of a success. I think it was such a bomb that it caused morbid curiosity. And so I believe that even though it bombed at the box office, that this made a decent chunk of change when it was released to DVD because they made 3 more movies.
Oh, man.
There's Baby Geniuses in 1999. There's Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2 in 2004. Then they wait almost a decade. And in 2013, they come out with Baby Geniuses and the Mystery of the Crown Jewels, direct-to-video. The next year, Baby Geniuses and the Treasures of Egypt. The next year, Baby Geniuses and the Space Baby.
Oh, no.
And surprise, surprise, all of them feature Jon Voight and Skylar Shea.
Oh.
But not Whoopi Goldberg.
No.
She, no doubt, upset that they called her Whoops. Don't anyone call her Whoops. Then she gets PTSD. PTSD, post-traumatic stress babies. They also filmed a 1-season live-action TV series called, and I hate this, Baby Geniuses BSI. Baby Scene Investigators.
Okay.
It's like CSI, but it's with babies. You get it? It's hilarious. It aired in foreign markets like Australia and Italy, but it never aired in the United States.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah. But there's a television series out there somewhere, so that's fucking weird.
So who is the target market here?
I guess foreigners? I guess foreigners who don't understand America? I guess that's what this is the target for now. But yeah, they made 5 Baby Geniuses movies, and that's astounding to me. Especially since this movie bombed so hard. The first film in 1999 cost $12 million to make, and it made a decent chunk of change, so they upped the budget for the second one. The second one cost $20 million to make, and it premiered at the box office in 11th place.
Oh.
It made $9 million at the box office, and to be clear, that was worldwide.
Oh.
So it was a spectacular bomb. This movie sucks, and there is nothing good about it. It hurt my soul, this movie. There's one part where I got excited.
I'm picturing. Okay, bear with me here a second.
Okay.
I'm picturing basically a Turkish prison.
Is Recep İvedik there?
And he may be one of the guards.
One of the guards, yeah,
and
like his friend was a guard
two guards
and
are
died.
dragging somebody, kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
And they're dragging him to see a Baby Genius movie. No, not that! Not that!
Anything but that. Please. Show me Recep İvedik 12. So, the ending is really painful to watch when all the babies get powers and there's ridiculous fights. But I got excited because one of the baby's powers is that she's like Cupid and she has arrows that make people fall in love and she hits two guys in the butt. And I got excited and I was like, oh my God, are they going to kiss? Are you going to have like a gay kiss in the middle of Super Baby's Baby Geniuses too? But instead they turn to each other kind of high and go, I love you, man. I love you too. And they faint. And maybe it's just me. I was kind of hoping they'd fuck. I was kind of hoping that they'd turn, and then next thing you know, they start making out, and then boom, onto the fisting. But instead, they played it safe, and they just said, I love you, man, and fainted. I just thought a real opportunity to sort of shift the paradigm.
Yes.
You know? But no, I love you, man. I'm going to faint. Okay. They really could have just been like, you're hot as fuck. And then the other guy starts saying that romantic monologue from what's that movie that you really, really like from Netflix? The Old Guard, yeah.
Oh.
Suddenly both of the guys turn and it's like, you are my moon. You are my sun. I don't remember the monologue, but that was my attempt. Here's all you need to know about Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. The credits are in Comic Sans.
Yes.
Comic Sans.
Uh-huh.
That's all you need to know. Right there. That's all you need to know. Period. So that's all I got. Do you have anything else? This movie is shit.
This movie is shit. Yeah,
There's no redeeming qualities about this at all.
No. What?
Oh, God.
Let me brace myself.
Fuck. Shit. We're at the end of the movie.
Brace
that
yourself,
means
Jeannie.
that there's one episode left, and I'm scared. I am scared.
What is it?
I am scared for next week.
Okay.
Here, hold my hand.
Okay.
Hold my hand.
Fuck. Okay.
We can do this.
This is all the fault of the Scary Movie franchise.
Okay.
Okay. So in the year 2000, they decided to make a parody of Scream and other teen horror movies, and it's called Scary Movie. And the first film is pretty funny, and the second film was less funny. The third film was less funny than that. Eventually, you're getting to like Scary Movie fucking 8, I don't know, and they're all like shit.
Yeah.
But it was the idea at the beginning of the millennia that, hey, parody movies are doing pretty good. Let's rush out a few. So two of the people who wrote Scary Movie started doing parodies throughout the year 2000. In 2006, they made Date Movie, and it was a parody of romantic comedies. Then after that, they released Epic Movie. With, what? Borat? And Borat is hanging out with Captain Jack Sparrow? But who's that? It's Ted, the foul-mouthed bear. And what? Crispin Glover as Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka? And oh no, here comes Nacho Libre. This is fucking hilarious. And then They also did a movie called Meet the Spartans, which was a parody of the movie 300. They also did The Starving Games. Get it?
Yeah.
They also did a movie called Vampires Suck, which is like, oh, teen vampire movies. Oh, fucking whatever. In 2008, they made a film called Disaster Movie, and it is the absolute worst. I am really scared, but we got to get through it. It's the worst movie of all time. I believe in us.
We're basically talking Kmart Zucker Brothers.
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely.
These, I've seen a few of them. They're airplane, but bad.
Yeah, yeah. They're low budget. The movies seem to me like the sort of movies that would only that they would never be released in theaters, and it wouldn't even be released in stores. You just see a commercial at 1 a.m. for the not-so-teen comedy film not available in stores, only available right now. So call this 1-800 number. It features Lou Ferrigno taking a shit. You know, like one of those movies that you would see a commercial for at 1 a.m. at like 2002, and it stars the ShamWow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, except these ones got into theaters. It's all the things that I hate about Kingpin and Dumb and Dumber, but turned up to 11. This film goes to 11. And I'm not looking forward to this. Fun fact about these movies, these aren't even parodies of the movies. In order to keep up with movies that were being released, they would write these movies based on the trailers.
Yeah.
So they have a Juno character in this movie before Juno even came out. This is a character of Juno based on a preview. Because they don't want to be out of date by the time the movie eventually comes out in theaters. So these are the worst characterizations of movies that they didn't even see. And Kim Kardashian is in this.
Oh no!
So this is going to be painful next week.
That's it. I think that's a. I got to make that another rule of mine. You know, much like if there's a monkey in a movie, it gets an automatic 2 points. If there's a Kardashian or Paris Hilton, I gotta deduct 2 points.
Yeah. Negative 20 Pope on Film tokens.
Yes.
We're doing Pope on Film tokens now. I totally didn't steal this from a YouTuber. So, Birdemic gets 20 Pope on Film tokens for trying. This week's film, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2, gets 1 Pope on Film token for having Scott Baio get punched in the face. But already, next week's film, Disaster Movie, gets like negative 10 Pope on Film tokens, and we haven't even watched it yet. So who knows where they're going to be. But that's next week. It's already available on our shared cough. This is going to be difficult, and I apologize. But I swear, for a while after this, for September, before it turns over to you for your birthday month, I'm going to try and make it some upbeat shit.
Okay.
To make up for this horrible summer. Some fun movies that we'll actually enjoy. So,
I'm planning some interesting movies.
Okay, good. I gotta hand it to you, Bunny. It's so much better because of you that I can now say, oh, The Green Mile, beautiful film. Reminds me in many ways of The Holy Mountain. You know, Jodorowsky's epic film.
Yes.
so lush and beautifully filmed. And it's so like, that makes me seem a lot more of a movie buff than I actually am on Twitter. So thank you for that.
Well, and Uptown Saturday Night.
Yeah, Uptown Saturday Night.
I try to go different places where we do not normally go, and try to highlight something or some things in cinema that maybe are getting a little overlooked.
I was watching either some movie or some TV show, and it was set in like the 70s or the 80s, and there was a TV on in the background. And anytime I'm watching anything and there's a TV on in the background, I automatically go, ooh, what are they watching? What are they watching? What are they watching? Did they create something original, or is that this old movie? And I was watching something, and I don't remember what it was watching, but I was so excited to go, fuck, they're watching Cotton Comes to Harlem!
Yeah!
God damn, I love that movie! Cotton Comes to Harlem! I was really proud of myself for being able to point that out. So always look forward to October's Good Sir.
Thank you.
But before we get there, fuck, we've got to watch the worst movie of all time.
Yes, we do.
So that's next week, the shocking conclusion to our summer long.
But then we will be heroes. Let's keep this in mind. We will be heroes.
We will be. We will be heroes for having gotten through all of this.
You're not bad movie fans. We're bad movie fans. Badass bad movie fans.
We can do this. We can do this. We got this. No problems. But some problems. This is going to hurt. But we can do this.
Yeah.
We got this. That's next week. So join us next week. But now that I'm looking back at this week, oh man, the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, I cried a little bit. Skylar Shane is John Voight's goddaughter. 2 Murrays. Free Guy. Maxwell's not in class. And he doesn't like eating crickets. I gotta say, I think that this has been a pretty good episode.
This has been a damn good episode.
Okay, good. I felt the same way, but I didn't want to step on your toes because I feel like you're the person who gives the episode a classification. And I didn't want to hamper what I believe is your job on this podcast. But yes, I concur with your statement, good sir.
Thumbs up, Maxwell. That's cool.
I had one like this, but it wasn't an Iron Fighter, and we had to give it to Eleanor.
Yeah, you outgrew it.
In class.
Yeah.
Because
so until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve, and on behalf of Natasha and Maxwell and Eleanor and Jaden and Bella and everybody else in this house, I would just like to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens. Thank you, Bella.
And you iron spiders. And you cookie ice cream.
Nice. Do do do do do do do do do do. This is the outro. Do do do do do do do do. Skiddy pop a doo wow. Cut and print.
And web it.
Cut and print.